Hey, and welcome back to Draw Along Doodles with Walker. We've got a timely sleigh full of presents. So we're going to go through how to make it step by step. I am going to keep my page horizontal because it is larger that way. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a diagonal line coming from the top left down to about the middle of the right. I'll use that for my slope. Then I'm going to come in and down a little bit, in and down. And these should end up about the same height. That's what you're going for, because then you're going to connect them. Okay. Now, we need for this to become a curve. So I'm going to go up a little bit, following along my angle, and then I'm going to come down and up. Okay, so now I have more of that graceful curve that a sleigh has. Let's give it its edging around the top. So I'm going to make on that tip a spiral. I'm going to come down along our long curve and then a spiral that stops at the tip. I am going to touch right here on the other side of our original line and give it a width. So now when you look at our sleigh, it looks like it has a border on the top where it's almost a finishing touch. Okay, we need rails because otherwise it can't land on a roof. It can't land in the snow. So I'm going to draw a line that extends further back than my sleigh and a line that extends a little bit further front. Now, I'm going to go curving, so making almost half a heart. And then this one's going to curve and it's going to hit a little bit underneath. Notice how those are close together. Then I'm going to come to the back of the sleigh. I'm going to curve like the half of a heart and then curve in the reverse way. Make my half of a heart. I'm also going to put a small curve right here at the back. You may have noticed we're very, very curvy today. Now, just like this has width, this needs it too. So I'm going to come and just make a bubble around it so that I'm using those exact same shapes, but I'm just giving it a width. This is a fancy rail. Okay. So now I'm going to have my rails complete. It's time for some presents. How many presents you put in there is up to you. I'm going to create my boxes that look three-dimensional. So I'm going to go across and down to create my first rectangle. Then to make the side of the box, I'm going to angle down and then follow this line parallel. All right, there's one box. Now I need two. Up, over, and down. Then once again, I'm going to angle it down and then go parallel to this line. Okay, let's do one that's kind of taking up a lot of space. So this time when I draw my rectangle, I'm going to angle up and over. Now I'm going to come down, just like we have in the past. And remember, it does need to be parallel to that line as you go up and down. I think 3 looks good, but 4 would be even better. So I'm going to come and add a last shape. Down and then parallel. If you want, you can come and add some bows or some fancy things. I think I'm just going to make them simple. Okay. Now, let's Sharpie the tricky parts first so that they don't come back to get us later. So I'm going to come and do my rail. And I'm going to go along that first curve with the spiral that I made. And I'm going to give it its border. Okay. The next part that's a little bit tricky is your rail down here. You want to make sure that you are just going over the width that you made. You don't want to go over that original line that was your path. And since it overlaps parts of the sleigh, it helps if you've already got it sharpied before you try to do the sleigh. Okay. And then let's do the center section. Okay. Now I've got the tricky parts on my sleigh done, so I can go ahead and finish the rest of those lines. Coming across and going back up. All right, present time. I am getting the one that looks like it's the most in front first. Then I'm going to go to the next one that's in front after that. So that I'm going in order from things that are close to me in the front and then things that are overlapped in the back. All right, I'm going to add a little puff right here and a little old school twine bow. And there we are. You are ready to go in and add your color after you erase. One thing you can do if you want to be a little bit more like the one that we showed you is you can come in and follow the angle that you did for the side where it's going down. Follow that angle parallel to create a shadow for your side with what's called hatching. Hatching is when you use a group of lines going in one direction parallel to each other to create the illusion that something is darker. So that'll give you a little bit of a graphic feel. Hatching is really common in things like comic books or etchings or places where they're trying to do a design with just one color as opposed to using multiples. Okay. So there is our hatching in case that was something that you were interested in. You can also come in and create some dimension for your handrail by getting a little bit of brokenness in there. Bye, guys. I hope you enjoy.